Alright, please forgive the music in the background. Uh, so I'm gonna be recording a little brush inking demo for Mongo Pangolin. Just learned how to pronounce that word. Funny thing, like I tried to record this earlier, and I said I didn't know how to pronounce his username. Then I see a video from Weeble about pangolin. Then I watched another video about pangolin. Apparently, they're one of the most trafficked animals on the earth, according to National Geographic. But anyway, I already started this, but then my battery ran out and my phone shut off on me. So I'm gonna start again. Gotta make sure this thing is plugged in so that it doesn't shut off again. Okay, charger connected. Alright. Got my brush. Got my ink. This is just a bottle of Blistex. I poured some, I cleaned it out. I poured some of this Speedball Super Black ink into it. Alright, let's try this again and hopefully nothing goes wrong this time. Now what I'm gonna do first, just check and make sure it's charging. I take the brush, I'm gonna dip it in the ink. It's happening off camera. It's also happening off camera is that I'm sort of twirling the brush around on a piece of scrap paper to try to get a nice point on it. This is a very awkward position to work in because I got this setup. I took these couple of things from downstairs and managed to make a camera setup. So, well, my brush tip is nice and sharp, so here we go. I want to close the bottle of ink because I'm paranoid of spilling it, because I always spill ink. This Bugs Bunny that I'm drawing right here, the way he looks is inspired by an animator named Emery Hawkins. Yeah, see, recently I've been thinking about the... Oh, right. I guess I can't rotate as much. Gotta make sure that you can actually see what I'm doing. So anyway, I've been thinking about the cartoon Hillbilly Hair quite a bit recently. Then, I just happened to end up on cartoonresearch.org, and I saw... There's a .com. It's one of those. And I, saw like a little breakdown video that they do, where they identify which animators animated which scenes. And I noticed this one guy drew bugs, and particularly kind of weird. Not weird per se, just a little. I noticed it. It was very noticeable. Brush inking takes But anyway, that animator's name was Emery Hawkins. I don't know much about him. I just saw his name there during those scenes where I noticed that bugs looked kind of like this. Tried my best to draw him in that way. Managed to get him pretty close just from memory alone. And then after that, I went back to the video, to the cartoon, to Hillbilly Hair, and looked at a few parts where he animated it and adjusted it. Made tiny adjustments to better match it. And so, here I am inking it. When you inking with a brush, you gotta have a very, if you want to get thin lines, you gotta have a very light touch. Well, that's thicker than I wanted, but oh well. Yeah, so I posted like an ink drawing on Instagram yesterday. I shared it to Discord, and one user named Mongo Pangolin asked, "How did you manage to get it to look so good?" And I didn't really know how to answer, so I thought, might as well record a video of myself doing it. I was thinking about doing that anyway, or was I? I don't remember. I think I was. But it's like, yeah, maybe just, watch and learn. See me do a demo would help. It's really hard. I'm trying my best here. Usually I would rotate a lot more than this. Rotate my page. So that I can get the right line. So I can get the line I want. But, well, when I do that, it goes out of the camera. So, gotta try my best with having the page remain mostly stationary. Did I use that word right, stationary? I think I did. Yeah, I'm not getting all the lines I want, but still. So I'm very grateful for the fact that I'm able to, do it as good as I can, because brush inking is a very hard thing to master. Messing them up, giving them thick old eyebrows, oh well. Yeah, it's a very hard, thing to master. And I hear it takes years of practice. And, I guess in hindsight I have been practicing for a few years. I guess so. Because, well, let's see, last Inktober in particular, as in 2019, I made it my mission to try to, learn how to ink with a brush. And that was also, I believe, the reason that Jake Parker, the guy who came up with Inktober, that's the reason he came up with it, so that he could, get a better use of his brush. I believe he used a brush pen. I'm using a Winsor Newton Series 7 number 2 brush. It's a very expensive brush. Yeah, and because of the price, it held me off from getting it for a long time. But, this is that one of those things that, you're always getting recommended. Everybody says, oh, this is the ideal inking brush for cartoonists. It's actually a watercolor brush, but it's been used for years by, I think I'm gonna reload it up with some more ink. It's been used for years by cartoonists for inking. Like if you watch like the VHS, it's up on YouTube, of crud. If you watch the VHS of Stan Lee's How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, you'll see the artist in that, I forgot his name, but he's using a Winsor Newton number 3 to ink the comic book pages. And me learning to ink with a brush, it's one of those things that I didn't have to do at all, because I can just do I can do digital art, and it's a lot easier, and I can undo. But I just wanted to be able to. I wanted to have that in my skill set, able to ink with a brush. And not just because of the digital thing. It's not just because of the whole digital thing that learning to use a brush seems like it could be a waste of time. But it's because there are other tools that are much easier. How should I say? What's that word I'm looking for? There's digital and there's... It's not coming to mind. Traditional tools, analog, yeah. It's weird to, refer to art tools as analog, but but it's basically, there's what are those pens called? Porous tip pens that can, that give you a nice... mechanical pens that give you a nice... Wait, mechanical pens? Is that what they're called? No, mechanical pencils. Well, no, technical pens, that's what they're called. But anyway, they can give you, you give you a lot more control, but you also, get a pretty consistent, even line with little variation when you use those. Although, I figured out, how to use those, I tilt it a certain way, and, it automatically, if I tilt it a certain way, I can automatically get line variation. And if I wanted to make it any thicker than that, I can just go back and make the line thicker. But inking with a brush, it's if you want ideal line variation, it creates it for you easily. And I do not have enough space on here. But it's turning out okay. It's turning out okay. It's turning out okay despite the fact that I'm not in the best position right now. I'm being extra careful. Being as careful as I can. That looks a little off, but okay. The ink drawing that I posted yesterday wasn't perfect either. I noticed the mistakes, but nobody else. Nobody else, noticed them. So it was I guess it wasn't that big mistake. you know, like, it's oftentimes, you know, my dad tells me this a lot, you know, people won't notice your mistakes as much as you do. So you shouldn't stress out over them as much if the thing you made isn't perfect. And it's like, you know, you can learn from your mistakes and just, okay, that's a bit more dry brushy than I like. But right now I don't even care if it's perfect because I'm under less than ideal circumstances with this whole recording it thing. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying talking like this. Don't know if I'm gonna upload this to Instagram or YouTube. Maybe I'll just upload it to like Instagram, YouTube, and I was gonna say Twitter, but I think this video will end up being too long for Twitter. I've never uploaded a video on Instagram before. So let's just see how this goes. You know, one thing that I hate when drawing Bugs Bunny is like drawing his hand holding the carrot. It's really complicated to do, and you know, it's just like you know, the default thing that you do, you'll have him holding the carrot. And I want to do something a little more creative than that. So this time I tried to like sort of, while I was drawing it, I did like a sort of thing here, like, okay, that finger looks pretty messed up. I think I'm going to try to fix that. But like I had it like the end of his carrot is like falling off, sort of like if you ever, like, I watch a lot of old cartoons and from like the 50s and 40s and stuff, and back then people didn't, it seems like people didn't know that smoking was bad for you, so cigars were quite common to see in them. And so due to that, and only because of that, because I haven't seen a cigar, like, I'm not sure if I've ever seen a cigar like in person. I think like maybe once or twice. Mostly cigarettes, but like anyway, I noticed that like in the cartoons, like they tap on the end of the cigar and like the you know, the little bits of ash would fall off. So had a little effect there. So I'm making it look like I tried to make it look like he was doing that with his carrot. Weird joke, but tried to be a little bit creative with it. I want to finish this soon because this is kind of stressful having to do this kind of awkward setup. I hope the music playing in the background isn't making my voice hard to hear. I was even like a bit worried that like maybe I shouldn't even bother trying to do commentary because I wouldn't know what to say or there would be too much noise in the background, but so far this is turning out pretty good. I'm enjoying just sort of rambling on about all these things. Maybe I'll do this more often. I say that and then I suddenly get quiet. I feel like there was a point that I brought up earlier that I didn't finish talking about. Can't remember, so I guess I won't know until after I'm done recording this. I'm almost done. Oh, I think it was the thing about, like, people won't notice your mistakes as much, yeah. So, like, the thing is, though, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. The thing is that there's times where, like, I'm just, I feel insecure about what I make because I'm personally not. No, it's like, you see, I think that the thing is that I don't think it's really just me worrying about what other people think of it. Because, like, you know, if I'm happy with my art, then, you know, I'm happy with it. And I just, you know, I post it because I liked how it came out. And thankfully, lately, I've been on a roll where I've just been happy with, you know, everything I draw. You know, I go through these periods where, like, oh, I'm not happy with anything, and, like, oh, I'm happy with everything. I'm trying to figure out, you know, like, what habits I do that cause me to, not be happy with anything. And I think that I've, figured out what it is. It's mostly, like, I think it's mostly stems from when I go on Twitter and, like, look at other people's art and see how successful they are and stuff, and how many more followers they have. Then I get desperate to, you know, make stuff like them so it could get as popular. And as a result, it makes me look at my art and hate it and think that it needs to be more like theirs. And because of that, like, the art that I make ends up, like, suffering and, like, not looking as good. I'm not happy with any of it. And then there's cases where, you know, like, say I'm writing a story and, like, there's something that I don't really know too much about, and I'm just like, is this realistic? Does this make any sense? Am I leaving something out? I'm like, you know, because I worry about, like, if somebody's gonna be like, you know, somebody's gonna point out, like a plot hole, like, hey, why didn't the character just do this? I guess it's nothing to be worried about. I don't know, I feel like I could go on for hours about this, but it looks like I'm done. Let me just connect that line. I tend to leave a lot of lines unconnected. I just kind of like doing that. Okay, that looks good. Okay. That looks good. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for watching.